Dealing in part two on the what we've talked about here under the legal system, when you go to the book of Revelation, which is the final disclosure of what God's purpose and uh, final direction is going to be for mankind, it states in basically Revelation 21, verse 4, and God will wipe out or wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. Even using that terminology of former things, and it could most likely relate to what man was experiencing under the control of Satan. And he's run this fictitious society under this dead body corporate of you're in the sin and therefore you're part of him, who now keeps you in the sin, in the debt, because you haven't accepted relief and remedy from the ultimate covenant, the new covenant that came with Christ when he canceled all debt and brought you free grace, something you could not earn. It was purely a gift. When we go further in it goes in verse 7 and 8, it says, he that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and the murderers and the whoremongers and the sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So it's almost like referring that man was in a sinful death because of Adam, and then those who deny the remedy will be placed into what? A complete eternal death called the second death. So when we go into this scripture here, look at the ones that are spoken above. They're talking about murderers, and we know that that's happened especially with the poisons that have been given out in the last couple of years through the medical system. And whoremongers, well, that could really take in the whole world of legal prostitution, because basically hireling means prostitute. And then it says sorcerers, and we can lead that to the pharmaceutical industry, because we know the nations were deceived through sorcery, and that would be pharmakia. And it says idolaters, which leads to the original meaning that I had found in etymology on idolater was hired servant wages, because it appears you were not in the natural realm that God originally created man. Certainly man was not involved in anything to do with being a hired servant for money in the Garden of Eden under truth. And then it says, and all liars, well, that would take in especially all those that promote fictionalism and legalism, which is the lawyers, and they shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone. So it's clear we're getting God's disclosure, the revelation that was given to John. And now we're able to read this at a most timely occurrence in our history, and see that God has not left us without knowledge. He has actually brought us the knowledge and given us the knowledge. But are we willing to, embrace this knowledge, absorb this knowledge, and then walk by it?